2 or 2.5 in future, but that was something that is expected for midterm, so next 10 years, for example. We have then calculated this factor backwards over the past 15 years here, and you see you can imagine that there is the average factor of 2.8 in the past up to here now, 2008. That is the effect of China entering the WTO, the World Trade Organization, and increasing its containerized exports. There we had a factor of up to 4.5 between world GDP development and world container handling. But you can also see there is a negative trend in this factor, and that is what we expect to be continued. We think that we arrive somewhere here in a level, at a level of 2 for this factor in the next future. However, the forecast for containerized trade on a global basis, according to our estimations, is displayed here, and I've also displayed some other forecasts you see here from ocean shipping consultants. This corridor, the base case and the high case, they have here as this corridor. Then this is the forecast of Drewry shipping consultants, and ours is here now. We are not expecting and we're not expecting a growth of 10% to be continued until 2020. It was already before the crisis when we said we will have growth between 2007 and 2020 of about 6% per annum, 6.5%. And we reached this 1 billion TEU mark in 2020. Due to the crisis, we say that we have to expect an average annual growth rate during this phase of 5% per annum now, and this means also in this year, this is considering also this year, where we expect a decrease of volumes of 5%. If you think back to the development of the growth in the growth rates in the first quarter, minus 15.5%, then you can already imagine that we think that we will reach the bottom in the summer, and with a effect of the reduced basis of the last quarter 2008, we already see a growth again in the last quarter 2009. So there is a crisis, of course, in the container demand, but the problem, according to our opinion and also to others, is the order book again. We have a fleet of 4,700 container ships, together 12.4 million TEU capacity, and we have an order book of almost 1,200 ships existing, and together 5.9 million TEU to be delivered in the next 3 or 4 years. That means we have an average annual growth rate of 13.7%. Also, this order book was already existing before the crisis. Since October last year, not a single container ship was ordered. And so we have a reduced order book since then because of the delivery of vessels. So the container industry ordered a lot of ships, knowing that the potential for scrapping is relatively low in this very young fleet. Only 4% of the global fleet is older than 25 years, and especially in the larger segments, there's no ship that is older than 20 years. If we look at the fleet, have I? No, I haven't. If you look here, below, above 4,000 TEU capacity, we have the average growth rates with more than 13%. Below, where we have vessels that are older than 25 years, we have From delivery side, only growth rates of 4 or 5 to 6 or 7%, and above we have very high growth rates in parts based on very low fleets at the moment, of course. But if you see what happens to the very large vessels, we have 11 vessels more than 12,000 TEU capacity, and we will see another 140 to be delivered if there is no cancellation. So the industry ordered too much vessels, and the chance at the moment is also that they will cancel orders, and that is the only chance to come to an equilibrium of the market within the next years. The charter rates displayed here on an average index from Howe Robinson, they have reached, I think, a bottom. It's hardly possible to go deeper with charter rates, and that is also the reason why there is a layup of vessels. They are not earning their operating cost at the moment, and then they are laid up. This is the idle capacity in the market. You see today about 1.3 million TEU of container capacity is not used in the market, and this will increase considering the delivery of vessels and a moderate forecast, as I showed it in the forecast forecast slide. So with 5% this year, minus 3% growth next year, and then picking up to 7 and 8%. Even with this growth in demand and forecasting delivery and some scrapping and cancellations, we will have a build-up in idle capacity up to 2011. In looking at all segments, all size segments, in smaller segments we will return on this path to reduce the gap between demand and supply from 2011. For the overall market, this will happen only from 2012. And we will reach equilibrium then somewhere here in 2014. So the possibilities can be seen from the ordering side. There already happened that no more vessels were ordered in the last 3 quarters, including the current one. That is a chance. Then we have scrapping. I already said that 4% of the capacity are more than 25 years old. When we think about all container ships, when we discuss about the smaller vessels, we see there is